and Idrisu Yusuf, a beautician, were charged for abetment of criminal publication of false news, were also admitted to a 100,000 cedi bail each, with a surety whom is expected to be a public servant. They were remanded into prison custody by an Accra Circuit Court on Thursday, October 2021, when they made a first appearance in court. The three had been charged with publication of false news after allegedly faking a gun attack on the life of the artist. They were denied bail last week and spent at least 1 week in prison custody. Shatta Wale referred to a prophecy by Bishop Stephen Kwesiapia of the New Life Kingdom Chapel to the effect that he will be shot dead on October 18 as the cause of his action. Well, in the last few minutes, a lot of reactions have been coming through on this particular development from the court, with individuals adding their voices. A lot of the fans expressing satisfaction that finally their artist has finally been granted bail. Many of them have been commending the court for the manner in which they've handled this. Well, some of the fans of Shatta Wale have been telling us how they feel exactly about the latest decision by the court.
If we say SM, not be joke. This why before Supreme Court matter, but see we chop them easy. See, this why I be warning to the world. You understand? We are very innocent. We think about ourselves and we think about the entertainment. We want the entertainment to be better. All those people thinking stupid things, trying to fuck up with the movement. See, it be revolution time. We want it be revolution time. It be revolution time. Don't fuck up with Shatta movement because we are No Wale, no show. No Wale, no Ghana. No Wale, no Ghana.
Artists went to Nigeria to support Nigerian music. One don't say sell your own. Support your own is our key. Shatta movement. We never lose hope in Shatta Wale. We will never lose hope in Shatta Wale.
No Wale, no entertainment. No Wale, no entertainment. Hey, see, without Wale, no entertainment is interesting. Without Wale, no entertainment will be interesting. Because we hold everything. We are the king. We are the king. We are the game players. We are the game changers.
Money is a war. I can war. Manchani. The old Kolekono. The old Buko. The old Kolako. Manchani. When I meet that kind of face, check me, Shatta Wale free. I'm the assassin 5. Shatta Wale, Kakai.
Here the excited fans of Shatta Wale, they're reacting to the decision by the court to grant him bail. Well, in another development, rapper Medical was also granted a 100,000 cedi bail. He was charged with an offense of brandishing a firearm in public. In that video that went viral on social media, he is to produce a surety, which is expected to be a public servant. Let's still stay in the courts, but this time far away in Sege, 28 indigents of Adan who allegedly attacked police officers detailed to provide security for Electrocam Ghana Limited have been granted bail by the Tema Circuit Court B. They were reported to have stolen a gun and 3 boxes of ammunition belonging to the police while destroying other property. My colleague Stanley Niblewu has some updates. He will be joining me on the phone for the latest. Hello, Stanley. Thank you for joining us. What more do we know about this particular case, and do we know the terms of a bail that was granted to the 28 residents?
Okay, so let me take you back a little before I speak about today's proceedings. So a total of 28 accused persons, or a total of 28 persons were rounded up in a raid on Friday, October 22nd. But today, only 27 were in court because one was sick. So he has been taken to the hospital to receive some treatment. So in court, 27 were in court. And out of the 27, it was established in court that 5 of them were juveniles. And so the judge presiding over the case, Her Lordship Better said, well, once it has been established that they are juveniles in the court, their trial will be held at the circuit court. But when they are convicted, they will be sent to a juvenile court for sentencing. So in the court again, the prosecutor, after presenting the brief facts of the case to the court, prayed the judge that the accused persons should be remanded into police custody because the police have not concluded its investigation on the issue.
Okay.
But the counsel for the accused opposed what the prosecution says. And so the counsel for the accused persons were of the view that, spread the court, that the charges leveled against the accused persons were bailable offenses. And so the judge should see to it that the accused persons, all the accused persons, are granted bail. And so the judge, in her wisdom, also granted the five juveniles who were certified or approved or justified to be juveniles, were granted 20,000 cedis bail, with and their parents are requested to serve as sureties. But the other ones who were established to be adults were also granted 80,000 cedis bail with 3 sureties.
Okay, thank you very much, Stanley Nibleo, my colleague there, who sat through proceedings in court on this matter. But for those of you who are wondering what the background to this story is, there was a clash sometime last week between residents of Sege and another community and some policemen who had visited the area to create some calm after there were tensions erupting in the area over a concession that had been awarded to Electrochem Ghana Limited. And according to the residents, some of the police officers brutalized the residents, and they've been complaining about the incident. In fact, it was instigated by the firearm of the police officers that went missing. Well, Member of Parliament for the area, Christian Otute, has been condemning the brutality meted out to the residents of Lahore and Bonikbo on October 20 and 22.
Event that occurred on 20th October 2021 and 22nd October 2021 at Luwo and Bonikope, respectively, is condemned to the highest level. The police brutalities that occurred by shooting of human beings, beating of human beings with rods and belts, etc., etc., burning of 6 motorbikes, breaking of taxi grasses, vandalizing of tricycle, breaking into rooms of innocent individuals, taking of money and loss of properties in the communities is very bad and unprofessional as well. This must be condemned and be investigated seriously to avoid a repeat of this anywhere in Ghana. On the other hand, we condemn the group that attacked the police and took away a gun, bullet, and a boot. There have been a number of police brutalities, including gunshots in the following communities as well: Tofrokpo, Salom, Mandagbe, which brought no peace to these areas, for which the people are living in fear and panic since somewhere February this year. We call on all stakeholders in the Adan land to wake up, to come together to resolve the problem that has started very small, but less than 1 year now, it is escalating very fast.
You heard the Member of Parliament for Sege speaking to the media there. Now, the Supreme Court has refused an application filed by lawyers of embattled Cocoa Board CEO Dr. Stephen Opuni to have Justice Dones Joche recuse himself from a review application brought before the court by the Attorney General. And that's the latest coming through from the court. And in a short time, we'll be establishing some contacts with our colleagues who sat through proceedings in court, so they can tell us exactly how court proceedings went today. But that's the latest coming through from the Supreme Court. Recall that this matter has been pending before the court for some time. And in fact, also another, the Attorney General had to make an application to the court, which was challenging the decision by the court to grant the case which was put before the court by the Dr. Stephen Oponi's counsel that Justice Honyenugan recuses himself from this particular matter. 2 additional judges were placed on the matter to add to the 5 judges who look into the matter. And now in a 4-3 decision, we understand that the AG's application has been upheld by the court. So subsequently, if you stay with us here, we'll bring you a lot more on this. Now, head of family of a Clay Ucheche clan, one of the clan houses in the Pram traditional area, has been shot dead by unknown assailants sometime this dawn. Ni Otu Seiklo, who was in the company of other kingmakers at a shrine house to perform some rituals, was gunned down in the hours of Tuesday. 2 other senior members of the Anewe Royal Gates, who were also in a meeting, sustained life-threatening injuries and are currently on admission at the Tema General Hospital. Police personnel have since been dispatched to the area to probe the matter and also restore some calm.
Through the investigation. If there's any updates, let us know and they will let you know. For now, let's be circumspect since a life is lost and we are dealing with a very vital institution to test. So let's be a bit more circumspect in the way we handle the information that we receive. Let's continue with the investigations. If there's any updates, let us know and they will let you know. For now,
Joseph Armstrong Gold, I look by my colleague. He's on this video. Joseph, tell us, what more do we know? Has calm returned to the area yet? Hello, Armstrong.
Hello, Kamala.
Has calm returned to the area yet where you are?
Kamala, calm has returned to this area after 50 police officers were deployed to the place to ensure that there's no reprisal attack after the killing of one of their own. As I speak to you now, some 2 other people who were injured have been treated and discharged from the polyclinic. And
from your interaction with the residents, what sense do you get as the cause of this latest incident there?
It's really heavily here. I can hardly hear you.
I'm asking, from your interaction with the residents, what may have caused this latest attack which led to the death of a king? I'm afraid Armstrong cannot hear me, but that's the latest coming through. One of the kingmakers, in fact, the traditional leaders in that area, we understand, has been gunned down, and 2 others who sustained injuries and were on admission at the hospital have been there and they've received treatment and have been discharged. So that's the latest coming from there. I understand the Member of Parliament has been speaking to this particular matter, who is Sam George. Let's hear what he has to say.
Hitherto, places which 5 years, 10 years ago were farmlands are now residential areas. And because it's the exponential growth, crime is unexpected antecedent. We've not seen a growth in police numbers, we've not seen a growth in police logistics, and so you're beginning to see violent crimes. There have been a number of arrests, persons from the sub-region, largely. There have been times the police command here has arrested 30, 40 of them in one house, engaged in all kinds of illegal activity. They are handed over to the immigration service, and the next week you see them back in town again. And so it leaves a lot of problems for us here. You're wondering how these people are getting into the country anyway, because our borders are locked. But we're still finding them in town, and we can only use these kinds of interventions to help the police service in their response time to some of the issues that are being raised. There needs to be a critical look at the Pram axis. I mean, this is one constituency, but I have 2 divisional commanders. I have 2 districts and 2 police districts. So you realize that even within the police administration, this is huge, because my Afienya district is not even under Tema. It's under the Dorowad, and you know, so it's quite huge. And looking at the numbers, it's important that the police begins to relook at this place. We shouldn't sit back and allow Kaswa repeat itself here, and then you start chasing the crime curve. We must be ahead of the curve. So the police must begin to look at it. I'll use this opportunity. I know the police is looking to establish a forward operating base. They're looking at Ada. It's fair and square, but the military is also looking to put an FOB in Ada. Will the police look at putting their FOB here in Ningo Pram, given the fact that the numbers here far outweigh the numbers in that area?
Time now to head to the Supreme Court, where that decision has come through on the matter involving the former Cocoa Board CEO and the state. We understand the Supreme Court is now backtracking on its earlier decision to bar one of the judges sitting on the matter, Justice Clemens Onyenuga, from hearing the case. The Attorney General who filed that application, now we know, has been granted. Dennis Wadan, my colleague who sat through proceedings, is joining me for a conversation. Dennis, tell us about the proceedings. How did it unfold in court? I suspect we've lost Dennis there, but if you're just joining us, the story is that a 7-member Supreme Court panel has granted a review application by the Attorney General, which sought to set aside the court's earlier decision, which barred one of the justices of the Supreme Court who sat on the case involving the former Cocoa Board CEO and the state, Justice Clemens Onyenuga, from continuing as a judge on the matter. We know that the lawyers for the embattled former Cocoa Board CEO had challenged the impartiality of Justice Clemens Onyenuga in this particular matter at the apex courts, contending that the judge breached his right to fair hearing and that the judge had demonstrated bias against him. Now, the AG sought a review of the apex court's decision to restrain Justice Clemens Onyenuga, arguing the ruling contained fundamental errors of law that manifestly resulted in miscarriage of justice. Now, the Supreme Court, which heard the AG's review application with an additional 2 judges to the initial 5, has given its ruling, and the court in its 4-3 Tuesday ruling on the matter said the Attorney General's application succeeds. Let's take a step away from the courts now, and day 2 of a recruitment processes into the Ghana National Fire Service is underway at the National Fire Academy and Training School here in Accra. Some individuals undergoing screening in the ongoing recruitment exercise have expressed disquiet about the process they describe as simply chaotic. But the Accra Regional Commander of the Fire Service, ACFO1, Alhaji Nuhu Jibril, says the situation was not chaotic as reported, but he's challenging, or he's ensuring or hoping that the challenges will be resolved going forward.
We are supposed to bring our original certificates and copies of the biometric, something that we have on the internet, to present here for them to do their documentation and also for our body selecting. I got here as early as 6:30 thereabouts. Over thousands of people were here.
Sometimes when there's a crowd in a particular place, the people who controlling the crowd is one, and then the crowd themselves, if they cooperate and go by the directives that we are giving, I'm sure there will not be pressure. So if something of that happened, then it might have been because of maybe some of them did not cooperate. Okay. We are still monitoring. Okay. And so as and when those issues come before us, we'll address it. And so in going through due process, sometimes you need to take time and do certain things. So that can also be small, yeah. You may meet some challenges. Everywhere where there's crowd, you may meet a challenge. So we look at a challenge and see how best we can improve upon whatever the challenge was.
Let's have a conversation around this. Tabuloso is a labor consultant. He's executive director for the Labor Policy International. Thank you for joining us. Now, this is clearly a matter of concern that we have several thousands of young people scrambling for very limited job openings in the security services, some simply unavailable. How does this play out in the labor space from where you sit?
Thank you, Governor. Governor, it's a very worrying situation. Worrying situation, but a solution is possible if government is committed to protecting the public purse and therefore freeing up resources.
Okay.
To make employment possible. For instance, in 2017, late in 2017, we were told that the police service needs 28,000 more personnel to meet the UN benchmark. It certainly will be the same for the other security agencies. We have a secure support, including the fire service as well. But it's because we are not able to pay. So then it's like we are not recruiting. But we must recruit and free up resources to give people dignified employment. And if we are committed to doing so,
one of the reasons, Mr. Bulus, one of the reasons why some of these young people, as we see them in their thousands, are heading in this direction, as some have described it, is job security. So once you get into the services, you know that your job is secure for the next foreseeable future. But these are very limited opportunities, we already know. How should these young people be rechanneling their energies and expertise so they can gain employment, all right, earn a living, and also help the state in terms of economic development?
Job security is key. So if we see them trooping to areas like this where you can be assured of job stability in employment for almost all you can like. It's an encouraging source to pursue. But alongside there are private companies, but I think also that look, are we dealing with economic planning in this country? I doubt it. It's of finance we are doing. Because if you look at our geographical location, we are a maritime nation. We export a lot of goods. We are producing cocoa and exporting, buying with syndicated loan and exporting every year. Are we asking ourselves who carries our goods to the foreign market and brings in our imports? We are making a lot of invisible earnings there.
Okay.
But what is our direction of economic planning? Because we can link up with the landlord count in our subregion and reflow a shipping line, which will carry also their exports and then bring in their imports. Then our Tema and Takra imports, linked with the rail lines that we are developing, will give us a very vibrant economy.
Thank you very much, Shatta Wale, to the Labour Consultant, Executive Director of the International Labour Policy International, speaking to us on this particular subject. Some have described as a national security issue. You're watching Midday Live here on TV3 with me, Komla. If you stay with me after the break, we have a lot more stories, including business, sports, and entertainment. Be here.
I'm going to interview Zuzum right here in my house. Hey!
Look up there. Why are you using inferior pen?
It was a mistake. I no check.
Acrobat2, I'm going to knock you out.
I know, sir.
You deserve quality.
Don't make mistakes. Stop!
You did the right thing.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint though.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Ultimate champion.
From the heart of the capital, above all, you sail across the horizon. When others see challenges, you see opportunities. You believe in the power of partnerships and innovation. You believe in your brand. You are excellence. Join the prestigious Ghana Business Awards Network, Nobel International Business School, the IPAC Business School, and the Swiss Business School as we set standards, recognize achievements, and celebrate excellence at the 4th edition of the Ghana Business Summit, Exhibition and Awards Gala. Kempinski Gold Coast Hotel, 29th October, 8 p.m. Live on TV3. Visit GhanaBusinessAwards.com/register or call 0571 900 900 to participate in the summit, exhibition and awards powered by Globe Protections.
Thinking about constructing offices, a house, shop or multi-purpose building, build faster and cheaper with prefabricated building from Y&W Industry Limited. Take a look at these samples. 2-bedroom apartments with living area, shared toilets, bath and kitchen. Office space has has working room, meeting area and washroom. Our prefab buildings can also be used for schools, factories, high-rise buildings or any purpose desired. The structure is made of hot-dip galvanized pipes with cement fiberboard walls, heat and sound insulated resin roofing sheets, special security doors, UPVC window, all from Y&W Industry. Major components are produced in the factory and assembled on site. Lifespan is 50 years and so say bye to Jason Masons and Carpenters. Located on Accra Kaswa Highway opposite ECG Transformer before the toll booth and in Marble House Yard, South Industrial Area, adjacent Zenith Bank, or call 054-698-3633 or visit us at www.ywindustry.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at YWIndustryGH.
The wait is finally over. It's that time of the year again, where you get to meet the love of your life. It's another season of your favorite TV show, Date Rush. Come join the contestant screening sessions to be a part of the next edition. Screening dates are Friday, the 5th November 2021 and Saturday, the 6th of November 2021 at 9 a.m. sharp on the TV3 premises. Don't forget to send your picture and details to our WhatsApp number 0542-448-297. Date Rush. Everyone deserves love. Our aim is to touch lives in many forms. We go in depth as we focus on true life stories.
Life became pathetic. We ran short of food and water. Indeed, we were looking for death. Death has also rejected us. It was like God has also rejected us. So nothing wanted us.
What's new in the trends as we look at fashion, entertainment, cuisine, games, and more?
Check your body type before you go in for some matters.
So, in every aspect of our relationship, you find it fun, right?
Yeah.
Even during
Sex is their food. We have the watermelon type, the apple type, the...
Which one am I?
I have the pawpaw type that goes this way.
Okay. Just stay connected with me on all platforms. Oh, and share that story to be heard by simply reaching out to us on all our social media platforms with the hashtag The Day Show. My guests and I look forward to a date with you this and every Thursday at 9 p.m. as we keep it real, positive and fun. Time with Bella Mundi on The Day Show is an encounter right here on TV3.
The Day Show with Bella Mundi now shows on Thursdays at 9 p.m. and repeats on Saturdays at 3 p.m. on TV3.
You're welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Now, President Akufo-Addo has warned newly confirmed metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives that he will not hesitate to change them if they fail to deliver on government's policies at the local level. Speaking at a 4-day orientation workshop for the MMDCs here in Accra, the president charged them to transform the local economy and create jobs.
I would sound a note of caution here. All government initiatives at the local level come within your purview, whether you initiated them or not. The argument that you are not aware of or are not responsible for government initiatives in your localities will not wash with me. You have to familiarize yourselves with everything, whether of your making or not. A chief executive who's indifferent or unaware of government activities in his or her area is not a suitable chief executive. The challenge is thus for all areas to take advantage of these programs to develop your localities.
Now, with no member of the Health Services Workers Union on duty as we speak in some health facilities, some patients have been left stranded when they sought medical attention at the Mensha Government Hospital in Kumasi. Most of them had to return home without being attended to. My colleague Ibrahim Abubakar has been assessing the impact of a one-day industrial action in the area.
The industrial action by the Health Services Workers Union has started biting hard here at the Mensha Government Hospital and some health facilities within the Ashanti region. Now, what is happening is that most patients have to go back home disappointed because they've not been attended to. For instance, when you come to the Mensha Government Hospital, before you are able to see a doctor, you have to first of all come to the medical records and pick your folder before you even move to the consulting room and see a medical doctor. But as you can see, the place is deserted, the workers are not working. Some frustrated patients have been speaking to us.
Yeah, but you know, almost say, I just you ya kwa jika dansa moto mekano card ni ho a omuntimi no omosom kosak ti omokosak no omuntimi nya ho hwe jiso mo ba ya yakofie yam se nim de yakofie so menim de kwa emini ya sabai no onye hu bibi maye na se omo kosak sa ne nipa nyina bewu se se bia na ba ye hiam wapa so ye ba ye no omo se omo kosak omuntimi nya ho hwe doctor se no so card no sunkura na wontimi hwe yes okofia na se wo bi na bewu a nyame anyina wachi ana wo kwa akowu
me I remember from me buy and me so almost insurance for no cost strike means so last month me buy hamaja insurance wa means me buy so money apart from insurance so hospital is kana age on a dose it means me insurance nti
the union says it will only call off this strike when government meets its demands.
We are unhappy for this action, but it has to be done. Because if you don't do that, it means the government won't listen to us.
What will it take for you to call off this industrial action?
Once our demands are met, we shall come back. Health services question members in the hospital that we are workers in the hospital, apart from doctors, nurses, and pharmacists. Currently, it's only these three people group who are not part of us. Aside that, everybody working under the within the hospital are part of us. So you can just imagine the impact. Straight away from security, the mortuary, the ambulance, procurement and supply chain managers, administrators, and what have you, all of us, all of them are part of us.
The union members are demanding risk clothing and transport allowance, including some benefits due them. We will be monitoring development in the various health facilities and update you in our subsequent bulletins. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
And here in Accra, I am Komla Adom. Now, the police service under the IGP, Dr. Ekufu Dampare, is bent on stamping out impunity in every facet of the Ghanaian economy. The strongest indication yet of this is the meeting held yesterday with religious leaders from across the different groups in the country. Key among the discussions were a statement from the Ghana Police Service where the provisions of a constitution in relation to the freedom of religion and criminal offences that could be committed by religious institutions. But what may have necessitated this meeting with the religious institutions? Let's speak to one of the groups that represented in this particular meeting, Reverend Emmanuel Bariga. He's General Secretary of the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council. Thank you for joining us, Rev. Now, I'm curious, as many others are, what exactly necessitated this meeting? Do we know?
Please, I didn't hear you.
I'm asking what necessitated this meeting as you know it.
Well, the meeting was at the instance of the Inspector General of Police. And it was to remind the religious community of our rights and our limitations within the confines of the law, and also to ensure that we educate our members to comply with the requirements of the law, so they don't fall foul, they don't get to problem with the law.
What kinds of subjects came up in the meeting? I know you sat through that particular meeting.
Yes, mainly it was about, the constitutional provisions relating to the freedom of religion, as in the church, as in the mosque, and some criminal offenses that may be committed by religious bodies, either advertently or inadvertently, especially with regards to the appointment of their leaders and what they are entitled to and what they are not entitled to, and possible human rights abuses in the course of prosecution.
Okay, for many people, the recent issue involving the dancehall artist Shatta Wale and one man of God may have formed the basis for this particular meeting. Did it come up at all in terms of a subject of prophecies and doom prophecies, that is?
Yes, the matter of prophecies came up, but it was not the main subject for discussion. Okay. And even the matter of prophecies and other abuses in the church was raised by the Christian community who expressed their concern at some of the actions of our colleagues, which we think fall foul of the law, and to acquire the police guns, take the people have to take action against those who fall foul of the law in the name of religion of Christianity.
Okay, before I let you go, Rev, I don't know if it's in your place to answer this one. We understand that among the groups or religious bodies that were there, the Christian groups, the Muslim groups, were only recognized churches. So the Presbyterian Church, the Methodist Church, and other representatives of known churches. Those who were on the other side, for example, the miracle working churches, the what people call one-man churches, were not in representation. Is that the case?
Well, that cannot be the case. I don't know what you mean by recognized churches anyway. Yeah, because the ecumenical councils were represented. Almost all the ecumenical councils. The Christian Council of Ghana was there. The Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council was there. The Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference was there. Okay. The National Association of Christian and Charismatic Churches was there. The Council of Independent Churches. The Council of African Institute Churches. They were all represented. So I don't know what you mean by only the recognized churches were represented. So all these churches under this council were all represented, and also including our Muslim brethren, brother from the office of the chief imam.
Okay, so do we get the assurance that after this meeting, we're going to have a clean slate on the religious front, that we're not going to have religion clashing with the law?
Well, that is what has been our aim all this while, because we think religion should be conducted in keeping with the law. Okay. So if someone in the name of religion flouts the laws of the nation, we think the person should be taken through whatever the law prescribes that the person should go through.
Okay.
So it is not because of this meeting that we are expecting that the religious landscape will become clean. Yeah, that is what we have been doing. That has been our effort as the Ecumenical Council.
All right.
All this while. Okay. So it only comes to remind all of us that what this IGP means business. So nobody should take him for granted. And we in the religious front, we also prepared to support you.
I appreciate that you could join us. Thank you very much. You heard the Reverend Emmanuel Bariga. He is the General Secretary of the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council there speaking to us. Now, Parliament is back in session and work in the House will run for 9 weeks. We know the Majority Leader, Sege, who has been speaking to us. He's explaining that as many as 50 bills were referred for consideration on whether any action will begin today on the controversial Proper Human Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill known as the Anti-LGBTQ Plus Bill. Sege also indicated that there's still a lot of work to be done before the second reading.
Let me be emphatic. It will not be done today. The reason is simple. And that is why, you see, you want to let people follow the processes and procedures of enacting legislation. Why? Because it's just been referred to a committee. That's the first reading. The committee then will go to sit on it and allow civil society organizations, allow religious groups who have shown so much interest, allow other groups, allow the general populace who have interest to express the interest appropriately, usually in memoranda. But there are some of them who would not encapsulate their thinking into any memorandum and then submit same to the committee. Some of them want to appear in person before the committee. The committee is allowed. That is allowed. The committee is allowed any time.
I know people submit memoranda for bills, but what I mean is, I think this is something that has touched the core of many, so that they've been significantly involved. I understand more than 140 memoranda.
The thing really is, this is, I should say, the first private members bill that's really engendered.
So you heard the Osei Chairman Sabonsu speaking to my colleague Jifa Bampo. A lot more on this conversation will be on 3FM 92.7 at 2 o'clock. If you join Jifa Bampo, it will also be on TV3 at an announced date. Just to watch in midday live. George Quayling is standing by with business. Please stay with us.
Oh la la! We are back. Superfam Network presents another hilarious day play. Arsenal again.
Hello, Uncle Mensa.
Arsenal, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm calling you so we can celebrate the anniversary together. Happy anniversary, oh. Happy anniversary.
What anniversary is that?
Today marks exactly 6 years. You asked me to send you my Momo number and you will see what you can do about it.
Oh, yes. Send me your number again and let me see what I can do about it.
Hey, Uncle Mensa, I'm still waiting for you to do something about it. Same old number. And remember to add the charges.
Happening live at the National Theatre on Saturday, 30th October 2021. Time, first show 4 p.m., second show 8 p.m. Rate is a cool 60 Ghana cedis. Dial *447 *1059# to purchase your ticket on all networks or call 050-6780-720 for enquiries. Arsenal again, directed by Francis Tetenutakor. You will laugh and laugh till you cry. All COVID-19 protocols will be observed.
Impressor oil and capsules are carefully formulated to give fast relief from pains associated with arthritis, musculoskeletal pains, waist and back pains, and pains related to sports and other injuries. They contain extras from carefully selected plants that keep the joint strong by stopping the degradation of glycosaminoglycan and support joint lubrication activity. The extras have antioxidant property and eliminate harmful toxins that lead to joint pains, muscular pains, and bone weakness. The combined usage of Impressor capsules orally and Impressor oil topically gives faster relief. They provide relief for a longer period of time. Their combined effect results in soothing sore muscles, alleviate joint dryness, and improve numbness at joints and extremities. With Impressor, pain flees. For bulk purchase, contact Iona Pharmacy 0553 134 185 0243 123 224. This advert is FDA approved.
She's a bubbly one. She brings the fun to the show all the time. She oozes energy and class and makes the show tick.
Hi! Welcome to Ghana's best TV morning show, The New Day, right here on TV3.
He's a tough nut. He is Mr. Accountability. He keeps the powers that be on their toes, asking the tough questions.
Here we interrogate the facts and dissect the critical issues.
But oh, he knows how to get down. She's a queen of social issues. She is great personified. She is witty and entertaining.
And every morning, we have you start today the best possible way.
And together, they serve you a completely enthralling offering of the best mix of news, current affairs, entertainment, health, sports, every morning on your award-winning morning show, New Day, from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every weekday. New Day, wake up, feel the sunshine. New Day is brought to you by Vodafone.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Kids Toothpaste.
Roma insecticide spray and coil. Awake purified drinking water. Deluxe acrylic paint.
Tom Vita for breakfast.
A very good afternoon. It's time for business here on Midday Live. My name is George Quinn. Let's begin from the transport sector amid fuel price hikes because transport unions have rescinded their decision to increase fares across board. The decision was reached at a meeting held today between the various unions, and this follows the refusal of the government to give them a response almost 3 weeks after the operators started engaging the Transport Ministry over the decision to review transport fares upwards. Earlier, the unions had warned of increasing transport fares effective Monday, October 25, 2021. Now let's go on to the telephone lines and engage the Industrial Relations Officer, Alhaji Ibrahim Oro, and want to get the very latest updates on this very meeting and what other things that transpired in the meeting. Good afternoon, Ibrahim.
Good afternoon, sir.
Ibrahim, in our earlier conversations, you mentioned that beyond the price stabilization and recovery levy, there are some other taxes you expect government to scrap, and these, taxes are still intact. Was that not enough to, take a decision today?
Yes, it's right. Yeah, that was what we presented. And if you can recall, last week we came out and said, we have given government, we are waiting patient up to the end of last week. If we do not hear anything, then this week you will hear from us. Either I would say last Friday, 22nd of October, there was a press release from the National Petroleum Authority indicating that effective from 1st November, they are going to waive the price stabilization and recovery levy out. Now, that has changed our plans towards this week. Hence, we have to meet and decide on the next line of action. We have to wait patiently till 1st November. If that is being reduced, then we look at the next line of action. Because in any case, we did not choose our first choice was that government should take some components on the petroleum levy margins and taxes out.
Okay.
To reduce the price of fuel so that we live happily and we're not coming up. Unless government is unable to do that, then of course we have to think about coming up with an upward adjustment in welfare so that we balance issues on the capital. So currently, all we are saying is we have to wait patiently till the 1st of November, then we see the next line.
Ibrahim, the PSR has been zeroed, for 2 months. So after the 2 months, does that mean you're going to issue other threats? Because you just asked for other taxes to be scrapped. One has been scrapped for 2 months. So what happens to the other taxes?
The purpose of which government created that price stabilization and recovery levy. It was especially the prices. If the prices clean up, that particular money is to be used to make sure the prices are stable, which are not being used for. So we shall look at the next line of action.
Okay.
Because we are suffering. Whenever we work after hardest work and go home empty-handed.
So, Ibrahim, before I let you go, when should we expect, any response from you? When should we expect another response from you?
Current suffering.
Ibrahim, thank you so much for that response, Ibrahim Tanko, SD Industrial Relations, Officer of the GPRTU. And as they hinted early on that they would, increase transport fares, the fares are still the same after meetings with other unions. But this is a development we'll monitor and stay on and update you subsequently in our bulletins. But that's it by way of business this afternoon. You get more news updates when you log on to our website. It's 3news.com. Sport is next with Yao Fusulabi. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Let's do sports news now. My name is Yao Ofosula. We're now to our first story. And Hearts of Oak will face JS of Algeria in the CAF Confederations Cup playoff. The draw was conducted at the CAF headquarters in Cairo, Egypt earlier today. The first leg matches will be played between November 26 to 28, 2021, while the second leg takes place from December 3 to December 5. The clubs dropping from the CAF Champions League play home first, with a return leg matches honored at the home grounds of the Confederations Cup final round qualifying teams. Hearts were eliminated from the Champions League after losing 6-2 on aggregate to Wydad Athletic Club of Morocco in the final qualification round. The Phobians hope to pocket $275,000 if they sail through to the group stages of the second-tier club competition. Well, now to give us a sense of what Hearts of Oak are about to face when they take on JS Sora in the CAF Confederations Cup, let's head on now to African football expert, my colleague Nuhu Adams. Nuhu, you're welcome to Sports News this afternoon here on Midday Live on TV3. First of all, just give us a sense of what JS Sora really are like. What sort of team are they?
JS Sora was established in 2008. That means they are such a new club. They are not a well-known side when it comes to the African game. I think this is their third appearance in CAF club competition. Their first was in 2017. They were eliminated in the prelims against Enugu Rangers in the CAF Champions League. But they returned in 2019. That time they were able to make it to the group stages, but unfortunately they couldn't qualify to the next round of the competition. So this is their third time. They've never won the Algerian League before, but the best they've been able to achieve is runners-up in the league. Last season, they were third. That gave them the ticket to participate in the CAF Confederation Cup this season. But one thing that is working for them is that they are very, very solid at home. The last time they lost at home in the Algerian League or in any competition was 16th December 2019. Since then, they've got 25 matches at home without defeat. That should tell you the kind of team which is facing Hearts of Oak. So Hearts of Oak playing the first leg at home, they have to make sure they get the basics right and get a very good result before they go to Algeria, because the home record of JS Sora is such impressive.
Well, no, let's just go through this one before you go. The recent performance of JS Sora, how has it been like in the league at the moment in Algeria?
Yeah, the league started just this weekend, and they are here to play. They will play against US Biskra. Right. So we are expecting them to start on a very good note. But if you look at the CAF Confederation Cup, the previous game, they went to Mauritania to beat Assac Concord by 2-0. And the second leg, they got 1-1 before qualifying to this stage. So yes, they are minnows in the African game, but there's no way you can underrate them. And we all know the kind of threats North African teams pose when they face teams coming from Sub-Saharan Africa.
All right, no, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon here on Midday Live on TV3. But also the new Ghana Premier League season, which begins this weekend, was launched earlier today at the FA Secretariat there. And the winner of the Ghana Premier League is set to take home 250,000 Ghana cedis. And that's how much money the winner is going to earn, as well as 40 league balls for every participants in the Ghana Premier League. Now, the league is expected to begin this weekend at all league centres. Hearts and Kotoko will be looking to fight for the title again. New entrants, Accra Lions and RTU, will also be looking to stay in the Premier League. And for the first time in many, many years, football will head back to BBNE when BBNE Gold Stars will also kick off in there. The winner, as I mentioned earlier, will take home 250,000 Ghana cedis. Second place, take home 150,000 cedis. And the third place has 80,000 cedis to their name. All the more sports news tonight here on News 360. My name is Yao Ofusula. We come now to take over with some more.
Thank you very much, Yao Ofusula. Let's go to the Western region where there is some breaking story just coming through. We know the lady, 29-year-old, who was charged for publication of fake news, deceiving a public officer in the matter involving a fake kidnapping incident, has just been sentenced to 6 years in jail. We're going to speak to my colleague, Eric RJ, who sat through proceedings, to give us the latest. Eric, thank you for joining us. Tell us how it transpired in court and how the judge arrived at this 6-year sentence for the suspect.
Thank you very much, Komla. As you rightly indicated, the lady in question, Joanna Akos, was yesterday convicted on 2 counts. That is publication of false news and deceiving public officer. And as the presiding judge, Michael Ampedu, was passing his sentence, he stated that if you look at the 2 counts, the sentence includes between 6 months to 3 years for the publication of false news offense. And also, if you take a look at the deceiving of public officer, the sentence is between 5 and 10 years. But he's considering the fact that the lady pleaded for mitigation and showed a lot of remorse. The fact that she didn't waste the court's time. Again, she's a first offender. Then she also has a 3-year-old child that she's taking care of, and he took all this into consideration. But then again, if you look at Takrade is now somewhat becoming synonymous with the word kidnapping, and that he believes that it is high time that something drastic is done to, as it were, prevent persons who are also considering pulling that stance. So for the count on publication of false news, he sentenced Akos to 2 years imprisonment in hard labor. For deceiving public officer, he sentenced Akos to 6 years imprisonment in hard labor. But then the court is taking a look at the highest sentence, that is 6 years, and that's per his summation, Akos will spend the next 6 years imprisonment.
Thank you very much, Eric J. from the courts there. Time now for some entertainment news. And as we earlier brought you the story about the bill granted to dancehall artist Shatta Wale, we know scores of Shatta movement fans showed up at the court early today with free SMT shares to offer moral support to their icon who was granted bail by the court. News of Shatta Wale's bail was received with excitement by a charged fan base who had gathered outside the courtroom. Some shared their excitement with the entertainment news team.
Shatta Wale and 3 key members of his team were facing trial for allegedly orchestrating a gunshot attack hoax. The 4 were remanded for a week during their first appearance in court on October 18. News of the court granting them bail was met with excitement.
You say we true believer. Every day,
Let me tell you something. You know what? Ghanaians have always been blind and deaf to things about Shatta Wale. Instead of listening to the person, they listen to what others tell them. Shatta Wale is a very talented guy. There are a lot of music that the media doesn't listen to. There are talented songs. There are knowledgeable songs. Go back and listen to the songs very well. This thing happening today, we've heard songs and songs from Shatta Wale saying about this same thing, but no one listening to this. Continue supporting yourself. We are not leaving behind. We are continuing following Shatta Wale till casket.
See, Ghana here, we have been seeing them, the haters, because every day Shatta Wale do anything good Ghana, they will talk about him. So when he play music, say ayo, they don't even listen to the song well. They never talk say Shatta Wale be good, but always he be bad. But we the fans, we know say he be good. This album, we are waiting for him. Tell him to release this album. We are waiting, whether he finish or whether he not finish, because we have waited for this album.
Some charged fans of Shatta Wale there speaking to us. That will end our bulletin for us this afternoon here on TV3. Came to you live from the News Hub at Adesawe Kanda in Accra. If you log on to 3news.com, you'll find a lot more stories and even more details of the stories we brought to you here on Midday Live. I am Komla Adum. From the rest of the team, we say have a good afternoon. Keep watching TV3.